My name is Joe, and today we're going to cover the basic functionality of the Trane 1050, 850, and 824 thermostats. Let's see how to do it. If you're watching this video, I assume that you recently purchased a system that includes a Trane Wi-Fi thermostat, or you're interested in buying one of these thermostats. Either way, this is a good video to watch to get the basic functionality of these thermostats. I will cover more complicated issues like scheduling and attaching to the Wi-Fi network in other videos, but this is just for the basic functionality. On the left-hand side, you can see the indoor temperature. It's 80 degrees in the house right now, and that temperature will always show what temperature it is in the house. On the upper portion, you can see the humidity in the house right now. That part of the screen will always show you what the humidity actually is in the house at any given point in time. On the right-hand side, you'll see the adjustment for adjusting the temperature in the house. Right now it's set to air conditioning mode, and this temperature is set to 72 degrees. The air conditioner is going to run until the indoor temperature reaches 72 degrees, and then it will shut off. On the bottom side of the thermostat, you'll see 4 buttons across the bottom. On the left-hand side, you'll see the menu button where you'll access more functions. To the right of that is the system mode. That's probably the button you're going to hit the most often. That's where you're going to switch between heating and cooling and off. To the right of that is the fan mode. The fan mode is going to tell the thermostat and the furnace when to run the fan when it's not heating or cooling. To the right of that is the hold button, and that has to do with the scheduling mode, which we'll cover in another video. Right now I just want to go into the basic functions of running the thermostat. The most basic function of a thermostat is to keep the house at the correct temperature. In the summer, you're going to run the air conditioner, and in the winter, you're going to run the furnace. So let's go through how to set those temperatures. The button on the bottom that says System Mode is the button that you'd hit to turn between heating and cooling. So I'm going to push that button now. Right now the system is set to cooling. You can see that that's highlighted. If I wanted to switch it to heating, I would just hit the heating button. If I wanted to turn the system off, I would hit the off button. And you can see that that's highlighted. In heating mode, on the right-hand side, that is going to be red and show you that it's in heating. In cooling, that area is going to be blue to show you that you're in the air conditioning mode. In order to adjust the temperature up or down, all you have to do is hit one of the 2 arrows that are above and below the setting number. If I hit the down arrow, it's going to change that by 1 degree. If I hit the up arrow, it's going to change it up by 1 degree. The same thing is true in the heating mode. If I hit the down arrow, it's going to lower the heating temperature, and if I hit the up arrow, it's going to increase the heating temperature. In the heating mode, it's going to heat it up to the temperature and then stop heating. In the cooling mode, it cools down to the temperature and stops cooling. The other setting that's available is the auto mode. I'm going to hit that button now. In the auto mode, it allows you to use the furnace and the air conditioner simultaneously without having to go back to the thermostat to switch between the two. In Indiana, that's especially important in the spring and the fall. We often have spring days that are very cold in the morning and warm in the afternoon. When you set it to auto, it allows it to cool in the afternoon and heat in the evening. In this setting, we have the cooling set to 72 degrees and the heating set to 68 degrees. What's going to happen if the temperature rises above 72, it's going to bring on the air conditioner and cool it down to 72. If it gets cold inside the house and below 68 degrees, it's going to bring the furnace on and heat it up to 68 degrees. When the temperature is between 68 and 72, it's not going to heat or cool. These two numbers have to stay at least 3 degrees apart. If I try to get the two numbers closer than 3 degrees, it will actually push the other number down to compensate. I'll show you. And the reason for this is so that the heating mode and the cooling mode don't fight each other because they're trying to get too close to the same temperature. The other button that you can use is the fan mode button, which is to the right of the system button. That button controls the fan when it's not heating or cooling. When the system is air conditioning, the fan is going to run at the appropriate speed for the air conditioning. When the furnace is running, the fan is going to automatically run at the correct speed for the furnace. But in between the cycles of heating, that button controls what the fan does. I'm going to hit the fan button now. There are 3 different options. The auto button means that it's only going to run the fan when it's heating or cooling. The on button means that it's going to run the fan all the time, including when it's not heating or cooling. The circulate button is kind of halfway between on and auto. It's going to let you choose how many minutes out of every hour you want the fan to run if it's not heating or cooling. On the bottom left-hand side, for both the on and the circulate button, you're going to have a fan options button. If you have a system with a fully variable speed fan, it actually gives you the option of telling it how fast you want the fan to run when it's not heating or cooling. If you want to circulate as much air as possible, then you can speed the fan up. If you'd like the fan to be as quiet as possible, you can slow the fan down, but either way, it's going to run that fan at that speed when it's not heating or cooling. On the circulate mode, you can see here that you have another choice, which is how long you'd like the fan to run. Right now it's set to run 30 minutes out of every hour and the fan speed at 50%. You can adjust either one of those options to give you exactly what you're after. The last thing to be aware of is the humidity setting, and that's the button on the upper side of the thermostat. I'm going to push that now. And this has the ability to have 2 different controls. On the top in blue is the dehumidification mode, and it's set for 50%. If you have a furnace that has a truly variable speed blower motor, this area will be blue. If you have a fan that is not a variable speed blower motor, then this will not show anything in the setting here. The way the thermostat controls humidity in your house in the air conditioning mode is by slowing the blower down when the humidity is below the set point. In this situation, the set point is 50%, and if the humidity in the house is 50% or higher, the thermostat will control the blower every time the air conditioner is running and slow that blower down. And what happens is that by slowing the blower down, it gets the air conditioner coil extra cold, and by doing so, it takes out up to twice as much humidity as if it were just running at its normal speed. This function works very well and does a great job of keeping the humidity out of your house in the summer. One thing to note is that this function only happens when the air conditioner is running. So in the spring or the fall or times when the weather is more mild, you're going to find that it's not able to control the humidity as well because it's not running the air conditioner. With this system, we have a humidifier. So what a humidifier does is it runs in the winter, and that's why it's red. I'm going to hit that button now. The thermostat controls the humidifier based on the indoor humidity. Right now we have the humidity set at 35%, which is pretty average for a house in this area. When the humidity in the house falls as it gets colder and colder outside, at some point in time the humidity is going to drop below 35%. And when that happens, every time the furnace is running, it is going to bring on the humidifier. Those are the basic functions for the Trane 1050, 850, and 824 thermostats. They may have a little different look to them, but they operate almost identically. Watch the other videos to learn how to set the program on these thermostats and learn how to connect the thermostat to the Wi-Fi network so that you can control it from your phone.